All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today at our event called Refugee Friends of Rawanee. We're very pleased to have our refugee friends from all around the world join us today. We have poets joining us live and who've shared recorded videos who are based in Palestine and Gaza. They'll be sharing some of their stories. We have poets joining us from refugee camps in Bangladesh, Rohingya refugees, and we will also have our Syrian origin friends, some of whom are refugees in different parts of the world, in Europe, in Jordan, and some of whom are now back in Syria. And they'll be sharing their beautiful stories. And after that, we'll have solidarity readings from international poets from around the world who'll be joining to, share their words in solidarity. At the end of it, I'm going to share some of my own work from a poetic play that Rawanee has done in the past, called When We Arrive, and that is themed to migrations, and that is, written in solidarity with all of our beautiful and courageous friends around the world. And we'll also open up to, anyone who wants to read, whether on Zoom or in person. Before I formally open the event, I'm going to request that you all mute yourselves for now. I'm just going to do that for you, just so that we don't have noise in the room. I'm going to read a poem and excerpts of a poem by Khalil Gibran called Dead Are My People. And this poem was written more than 100 years ago, but it still remains relevant. Dead are my people. Gone are my people, but I exist yet, lamenting them in my solitude. Dead are my friends, and in their death my life is not but great disaster. The knolls of my country are submerged by tears and blood, for my people and my beloved are gone, and I am here, living as I did when my people and my beloved were enjoying life and the bounty of life, and when the hills of my country were blessed and engulfed by the light of the sun. My people died from hunger, and he who did not perish from starvation was butchered with the sword. And I am here in this distant land, roaming amongst a joyful people who sleep upon soft beds and smile at the days while the days smile upon them. My people died a painful and shameful death, and here am I, living in plenty and in peace. This is deep tragedy, ever enacted upon the stage of my heart. Few would care to witness this drama, for my people are as birds with broken wings, left behind the flock. If I were hungry and living amid my famished people, and persecuted amongst my oppressed countrymen, the burden of the black days would be lighter upon my restless dreams. And the obscurity of the night would be less dark before my hollow eyes and my crying heart and my wounded soul. For he who shares with his people their sorrow and agony will feel a supreme comfort created only by suffering in sacrifice. And he will be at peace with himself when he dies, innocent with his fellow innocents. But I am not living with my hungry and persecuted people who are walking in the procession of death towards martyrdom. I'm here beyond the broad seas, living in the shadow of tranquility. And in the sunshine of peace, I am afar from the pitiful arena and the distressed, and cannot be proud of aught, not even of my own tears. What can an exiled son do for his starving people? And of what value unto them is the lamentation of an absent poet? Were I an ear of corn grown in the earth of my country, the hungry child would pluck me and remove with my kernels the hand of death from his soul. Were I a ripe fruit in the gardens of my country, the starving women would gather me and sustain life. Were I a bird flying the sky of my country, my hungry brother would hunt me and remove with the flesh of my body the shadow of the grave from his body. But alas, I am not an ear of corn grown in the plains of Syria, nor a ripe fruit in the valleys of Lebanon. This is my disaster, and this is my mute calamity, which brings humiliation before my soul and before the phantoms of the night. This is a painful tragedy which tightens my tongue and pinions my arms and arrests me, usurped of power and of will and of action. This is the curse burned upon my forehead before God and man. And oftentimes they say unto me, the disaster of your country is but not to calamity of the world, and the tears and blood shed by your people are as nothing to the rivers of blood and tears pouring each day and night in the valleys and plains of the earth. Yes, but the death of my people is a silent accusation. It is a crime conceived by the heads of the unseen serpents. It is a seenless tragedy. The shadow of weak submission, for he who embraces death with the sword of truth in his hand will eternalize with the eternity of truth. For life is weaker than death, and death is weaker than truth. If my nation had partaken in the war of all nations and had died in the field of battle, I would say that the raging tempest had broken with its might the green branches, and strong death under the canopy of the tempest is nobler than slow perishment in the arms of senility. But there was no rescue from the closing jaws. My people dropped and wept with the crying angels. If an earthquake had torn my country asunder and the earth had engulfed my people into its bosom, I would have said a great and mysterious law has been moved by the will of divine force. And it would be pure madness if we frail mortals endeavored to probe its deep secrets. But my people did not die as rebels. They were not killed in the field of battle, nor did the earthquake shatter my country and subdue them. Death was their only rescuer, and starvation their only spoils. My people died on the cross. They died while the hands stretched toward the east and west. While the remnants of their eyes stared at the blackness of the firmament, they died silently, for humanity had closed its ears to their cry. They died because they did not befriend their enemy. They died because they loved their neighbors. They died because they placed trust in all humanity. They died because they did not oppress the oppressors. They died because they were the crushed flowers and not the crushing feet. They died because they were peacemakers. They perished from hunger in a land rich with milk and honey. They died because monsters of hell arose and destroyed all that their fields grew and devoured the last provisions in their bins. They died because the vipers and sons of vipers spat out poison into the space where the holy cedars and the roses and the jasmine breathed their fragrance. My people and your people, my Syrian brother, are dead. What can be done for those who are dying? Our lamentations will not satisfy their hunger, and our tears will not quench their thirst. What can we do to save them between the iron paws of hunger? My brother, the kindness which compels you to give a part of your life to any human who is in the shadow of losing his life is the only virtue which makes you worthy of the light of day and the peace of the night. Remember, my brother, that the coin which you drop into the withered hand stretching toward you is the only golden chain that binds your rich heart to the loving heart of God. And so these are extracts from a poem by Khalil Gibran that was written more than 100 years ago, but sadly remains very relevant even today, painfully relevant. And now that I've read this, I'm going to open the floor to our poets and friends from Gaza. And I'll request everyone to let the Gaza poets go first. Anyone who's live and wants to recite live, please go ahead and do so. And once we're done with that, we'll play the recordings, and then we'll go with, we'll request the Syrian poets to read. Yes, Marwa, please go ahead and start.
Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing very well. My name is
Once we're done
Marwa
with that,
Al-Mu'taz
we'll
Billah.
play the recordings, and then we'll go with,
Sorry, can you hear me? Actually, I can't hear you.
Yes, Marwa, sorry about that. We had some technical issues. Please go ahead and read.
Okay. Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing very well. My name is Marwa Al-Mu'taz Billah Muhammad Al-Hallaq, a Palestinian Gazan and a junior student studying English literature at the Islamic University. Today, inshallah, I recite one of my published poems with Baladi magazine, which is A Day of Floods. I know that we are now in summer, but my poem talks about rain and winter because the effect of winter refuses to set me free. Winter became a foreigner after being a close friend for long years. So I'll start my reciting of my poem. A day of floods, a flooded day, an unprecedented night, heavy hours with tears pouring down. What's happening to you? It hasn't been long hours. It's good. It's raining. Yeah. Once upon a time, it was raining. Now it floods. Deep inside, I know willingly that rain and the floods are blessings. But my mind, my whole being, still insists on welcoming coffee, a novel, and a warm bed under heavy blankets, wrapped in comfort, longing, and tranquility. My mind once knew nothing of fear for children, for others, and for beloved ones. I used to wait eagerly to film the rain, to document a historical moment, to face the downpour with living, innocent, grateful eyes. Gratitude remains, whatever the circumstances, but the longing in my eyes has turned into a flood of tears. The flood outside has settled within you, they say, so easily. What is wrong with you? Easily? What does easy mean? Rain is now a guest, no longer a friend. It's a memory, once beautiful, now heavy with longing. Now it feels like swept up water, closing your ears at the first knock of a drop, sending your memories away, fleeing from accumulated moments that once purified everything around you. Gratitude has never set me free, yet I'm not faithless, never. I'm only longing, only tired of the nostalgia that carried me inside before it ever touched the outside. This is my poem, and thank you for hearing me, and see you inshallah in other events.
Thank you, Marwa, for your courage and for sharing your beautiful words. Can I ask who else from Gaza would like to read next? I know we have Noor and Reham with us, and we have two Noors with us. So, can you hear us all right? So, let me just see. Shall I start? Yes, Reham, please go ahead. And Noor, you can go after that.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you are doing well. My name is Rihan Bahar. I'm a student from Gaza. I'm studying English translation and literature. I hope you are will receive my poem with love. Okay, so my poem is Between a Dream and a Nightmare. Studying under a flickering light in the depth of night, listening to the words from a Metis voice and the battery's last breath, no power to charge. Following lines in the shadow of death, frame by frame, I pause the screen to cut to the wisdom of a great name, a father, a poet, with a voice so clear, now killed by those who trade in fear. He taught me healing through poems, a lecture about life he couldn't save. I'm trying to focus, but heavy sounds all around, shooting, tanks, quadcopter. Yet I'm still trying to focus. Mosquitoes, the lovely alarm, are making the study lyrical. Kill one, two, three, never ending. It's Fajr time. The bombs persist. The Sheikh said of us, don't be sad. Allah is with us, trying to reassure me. I woke my siblings up to pray from their deep sleepness, full of horror. It's time to sleep after praying. The eye of heaven rises shyly, wants me to sleep, even if only an hour. Short nap full of nightmares, to wake up frantically with a headache. The children and adults are rushing with their smiles. Tank of water is coming to fill their thirsty throats from the deprivation of days. I need a life to recover from these. Yet I hope to stay in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Reham. And our wish for all of you is that you stay in peace. Noor, if you're here with us, I know that you said that you'd like to go next. Noor, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Salam.
Thank you for joining us, Noor. You're welcome to read next.
So it's my first time. Do I introduce you myself first?
Yes, please go ahead. Introduce yourself and do the reading after that.
Yes. So I'm Nur Nasser. I'm a student pursuing my master's degree in English Lit from Gaza. And I sometimes write, but I don't find my writings as formal as the other colleagues who has, mashallah, perfectly written their pieces. But anyway, I will share with you. So my first one is I long to die young before I'm forced to wrestle my own memory, just to keep you hidden from them. My deepest dread is to be claimed by Alzheimer's, to see you reflected in their faces as I see you in them now. I dread the day that they learn of you, you whom I have concealed for endless years from the whole humankind. I dread that you will never know me, while I carry you everywhere I go. I converse with you. I defy you. I love you. And I lose you. I'm not myself unless you are me. I dread the day they will uncover you within me, in the deepest chambers of my mind, in the pulse of my veins, and in the running of my blood. And there's the other beast, if I may, it's very short.
Please do.
I do envy the birds and the gentle butterflies, for when a place doth fail them, they take their leave. But I, my roots lie fastened here, bound to this stubborn soil. It matters not whether I wither or flourish, for I am denied the grace of departure. Yet mark me well, though earth may claim my form, my soul is free, unbound by mortal chains. No hand may hold it, no wall confine. It wanders far across the breadth of worlds. Whither I will, as breath within my breast, for thus I live, and thus I breathe, even unto this very day. Thank you.
Thank you, Noor. Thank you, Noor. That was really powerful. Thank you for joining us today. We have another friend from Gaza called Noor who said she'd like to read next. Noor, are you? Yes. Can you hear us okay? And are you happy to go next?
Yes, could you
Hi, Noor.
please tell me if you hear me well?
We can hear you perfectly, yes.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well and in good health, inshallah. My name is Noor Kamal Musa. I'm 21-year-old junior majoring in English literature and minoring in English translation at the Islamic University of Gaza. Today, I'm gonna recite a poem of mine under the title of Is It Too Much? And I'll be so much grateful if you lend me your ears. Okay, I'll start. Is it too much to smell the air of greeny fields, to feel the grass dilates my toes and touch the sunset that grows after sunflowers yields? Is it too much for me to get a new coat, to sing aloud for my favorite souls? What if they have never gone as I always sought? What if they hold on to gift me some words, to tell me I heal the wounds and the war shall end? My whale blossom, love is sweet, and so are bonds. My life is precious, even if it's random. Was it too much to say goodbye? To walk with me as hours us die? To let me open the gate of regret? To tell you you're the best I met? Is it too much for me to have a small room where I pour my sorrow, a pillow where I bury my messy doom and see the black shadow? Is it too much if I never met that night and thought, what if I end that sight? Stop, I hear, pull your heart together. Then I wait, I efface the thought with which goes the poet, the mess, the shadow, the coat, and the endless what if thee, with which goes me. Thank you.
Thank you, Noor. Thank you, Noor. That was very beautiful, and thank you for your bravery in sharing that. Next up, we'll have Amira, and after Amira, we'll have Ruba. If you're happy to read live. Amira, can you hear us? Sorry, I'm going to look at the messages alongside. Amira, can you hear us? Okay. If Amira's not here, Ruba, do you want to go next?
Hi everyone. What
Oh,
up
yes.
with internet?
Yes, Amira, we can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a little bit of an
First
echo.
of all, thank you for giving this giving me this space. I am Amirati Abul Hussein from Palestine and abroad to be Palestinian. Currently, I'm in the city. A lot of members of my family, three of my brothers, and when I was 3 years old, the occupation killed my father by 64, and this where I lose three of my brothers, and one of them has become a meal for occupation dogs. So as a writer, I decide to documented everything and send my message for all the world. Just to tell them we are not number, we are not machine, we are not number in the news. We have beautiful life. We are like the other people in the other world. So this is our right to live good life. So I started to document everything happened with us during the genocide, what we lived during the war, how we lose a lot of people, how the people here killed in cold blood, and no one asked about us. So I started writing, share my poems with all the world, and I published my first book, Diary from Gaza. It's talk about everything happened with me during the genocide. And now I will read my beautiful and close poems. What's my crime? Because it's summarized everything happened with me. It's talk like about me. So I will start.
Sorry, Amira, I think it is disconnected, and we can't hear you well. What I can do is, yeah, I think Amira seems to have dropped off. Unfortunately, internet in Gaza is a very big
Hey,
problem.
now my voice good.
Sorry, Amira, we can't hear you very well. Do you want me to play
My
your
voice
old
good.
poem? Sorry? Do you want me to play your old poem because we can't hear you very well? I will message you separately and maybe we can have Ruba or somebody else go next and then I can play some of the recordings. But for those of you who didn't catch the background story, since Amira's been with us for some time, what she was sharing was the background story to why she started writing. Amira.
My voice good, guys?
Yes, we hear you now. No, I think there's a lag. So Amira's father was killed when she was, I think, 3 years old. And subsequently, she's lost three of her brothers, one of whom was, you know, was killed by occupation dogs, and they only found his bones. So Amira has been very brave in writing, beautiful and very moving poetry. I'm going to play Amira's videos. I'm going to screen share so that you can all see. And we can all hear Amira's intro video, and then we'll hear, sorry, please bear with me. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, let me get this video up.
Hello everyone.
Sorry, just wanted to screen share for our online audience.
I am Amira Atiyah. I'm from Gaza and I am a writer. During the war, writing became my way to survive, to keep the threat alive and honor those we lost. To my brother poems, it means a lot because it's talk about my brother who killed by the occupation and while trying to recover the body of our other brother. In the end, the occupation thoughts eating them.
Yeah.
Until now, we are...
It might be somewhere over here, right?
Yeah, go to the... Oh, that makes no sense.
No, I think, sorry. Time player.
Oh, okay.
I think this is where you'll have to...
Yeah. Services, quit, no. Audio. Pass-through. Has that done it?
Aren't allowed to buy him.
No,
And
I think we'll have to use MacBook settings.
They should just do it like that. So, where is it gone? View. Audio, no. Subtitles.
So let me actually go to the MacBook settings.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Whatever you did at the start for the audio.
Because I did it with the...
For Zoom specifically,
Zoom,
right?
yeah.
Audio. So I think it's sound, right?
Yeah, it should be.
Sorry, please bear with us. No. Let me figure this out in the background and actually play some of the newer videos. Hopefully those play better, and then we'll come back to this. So we have a new...
hello everyone, I'm Ruba Sharif.
Sorry, let me...
Hello everyone, I'm Ruba Sharif, a 17...
Sorry, just going to screen share.
year-old Palestinian poet and writer. In my final year of high school, which makes me one of the youngest poet in Gaza. I'm the author of the zine, Mama Years of a Fallen Start with the greatest coastal lines, and among my another works, I'm the author of Daughter of Death in the UK, Justice Lost in Japan, and poet in the book La Rosa di Gaza in Italy. It's a great honor to me to be here with you today and to reach my words and my voice. So today I will read my poem Witness and Martyr, one of the harshest poems and closest to my heart. And this is which also from my poetry collection, so you can also read it. Witness and Martyr. I was witnessed by crimson tears, flowing from eyes exhausted by calamity, and the cages of my bare soul stood dangling before falling corpses, as if shadows of death refused to withdraw. I call open you, Lord of Death, tear my soul and these bodies from my memory, just as you tore their breaths from their chests, and left me from the death that has lingered within me until become a broken side that will not end. embraced the shards of my demise, folded them into her chest, and just chilled them from the flood of their realized blood, so the scent of moss might drive through the corners of the land, rather than being stilled by cemetery dust. Do not chant over my white shroud when you lay my beneath the soil, for only the rubble knows me and knows how I reached, carried by the scent of my martyrdom clings to me like an eternal corse. I shall be buried with open eyes, for I am deprived of the luxury of restful sleep, deprived of darkness and like my death. And if you ever find me lying beside your graves, embrace me, so I do not tremble once more from a darkness that knows me more than I know it. Embrace the cries of my heart when it calls your names. Embrace my words, so they may find a reader who wipes away the dust of tragedies and restore their final pulse, and embrace a witness who become a martyr, mirrored in the crime within his eyes. Do not be more witnesses inhibited by dead souls.
All right. Wakas, I'll give you 2 minutes to set the sound. Yeah, why don't you come in? Sorry, what exactly helped?
Turn the aircon off, that helped.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, but I think you probably have to, sorry everyone online, please give us 2 minutes to.
So if we go to the system settings, and so the Apple menu,
Yeah.
where are this
System
one? Yeah.
settings, yeah.
Then sound. So now the output. Here we go.
I think you go over
This
here.
one.
Yeah.
Now it should work.
And I think output over here as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it should hopefully work.
Okay.
Let's just minimize it. Try now with the other video.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Now I'm here to talk about him.
Okay, so.
Hello everyone, I am Amira.
Sorry. And now I'll start sharing Amira's introduction, and then we'll go to her poems.
Hello everyone, I am Amira Atiya. I'm from Gaza, and I am a writer. During the war, writing became my way to survive, to keep the threat alive, and honor those we lost. To my brother poems, this mean a lot, because it's talk about my brother who killed by the occupation, and while trying to recover the body of our other brother, in the end, the occupation took eating him. Until now, we aren't allowed to bury him, and I couldn't save him, I couldn't say goodbye. Now I'm here to talk about him, to make sure the world will remember that we are not numbered, we are human, like all the people in the world. And finally, thank you so much for giving me this space to talk about him and share his story with all the world.
And I'll now go on to playing Amira's poem. I'll actually read this aloud for her. What was my crime to live through all of this while I am in the prime of my youth? Until now, the image of my father burned in the middle of the house is stuck in my mind. 2 decades have passed on this, 2 decades, and I have not forgotten. All these details are stuck in my mind, so how could I forget the loss that happened in the last decade? How could I forget the loss of my first brother? How could I forget the loss of my second brother? How could I forget the loss of my third brother? How could I forget this? How skillfully the occupation has drawn the details of my life. I try to overcome these things, but they do not pass me by. They crush me every time and with every attempt. There is another poem by Amira that I'll read now. Just up. If I survive this war, I will venture far away. I will give myself the name Yamur and return to my beloved volleyball. I will nurture every tree, every basil in the world so that Faisal may remain joyful. And come evening, I will climb the hills, raise my voice to its utmost, and beseech all sounds to depart from my mind. The roar of planes, the drones, explosions, farewells. Please do not pursue me, let me be, for I am striving to begin anew. So these are Amira's very brave poems. Unfortunately, Amira tried to join us today, but internet, in Gaza continues to be challenging. I'm now going to ask, so please play my video. I realized that I played Ruba's video earlier, but that was not heard very well, so I'm going to go back to sharing that. And then we'll share the other Gaza poems and move on to Syrian voices. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm not sure this is playing.
Hello everyone, I'm Rawa Sharif, a 17-year-old Palestinian poet and writer. In my final year of high school, which makes me one of the youngest poet in Gaza. I'm the author of the zine, Mama Years of a Fallen Start with the greatest coastal lines, and among my other works, I'm the author of Daughter of Death in UK, Justice Lost in Japan, and poet in the book La Rosa di Gaza in Italy. It's a great honor to me to be here with you today and to reach my words and my voice. So today I will read my poem Witness and Martyr, one of the harshest poems and closest to my heart. And this is which also from my poetry collection, so you can also read it. Witness and Martyr. I was witnessed by crimson tears, flowing from eyes exhausted by calamity, and the cages of my bare soul stood dangling before falling corpses, as if shadows of death refused to withdraw. I call open you, Lord of Death, tear my soul and these bodies from my memory, just as you tore their breaths from their chests, and left me from the death that has lingered within me until become a broken side that will not end. Embrace the shards of my demise, fold them into your chest, and choke them from the flood of their realized blood, so the scent of moss might drive through the corners of the land, rather than being stilled by cemetery dust. Do not chant over my white shroud when you lay my beneath the soil, for only the rubble knows me and knows how I reach it, carried by the scent of my martyrdom. It clings to me like an eternal curse. I shall be buried with open eyes, for I am deprived of the luxury of restful sleep, deprived of darkness unlike my death. And if you ever find me lying beside your graves, embrace me, so I do not tremble once more from a darkness that knows me more than I know it. Embrace the cries of my heart when it calls your names. Embrace my words, so they may find a reader who whips away the dust of tragedies and restore their final pulse, and embrace a witness who become a martyr, mirrored in the crime within his eyes. Do not be more witnesses inhibited by its souls.
And so that was Ruba's beautiful, beautiful poem. I'm now going to, sorry, I seem to be a little technologically challenged today. Go on to the other poems that we have from, we have one more poem from Gaza. I think some of the others have already read live. And we have one more poem from Amira that I'm going to play, and then we move on to Assyrian poets. So Amira is a Syrian writer, and for those of you who want to listen in English, you'll have to turn on English translation. Visal, because I'm playing the recording, is that how it would work, or would you translate this afterwards? You'll do it together. Okay, perfect. All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you for that. So I'm just gonna go and play what Amira has shared.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اسمي أميرة عليان تبلو من سوريا، ريف دمشق، وتحديدا من مدينة دارية. تلك المدينة التي بذل أبناؤها تضحيات كبيرة في سبيل الحرية والكرامة، وكان لها موقف ظاهر منذ البداية في الثورة السورية. عشت سنوات الحرب بكل ما فيها من
We'll
ألم
have this translated later.
وشهدت الحصار القاتم الذي فرضته قوات النظام السوري السابق على مدينة الدارية. رأيت مختلف أنواع الأسلحة التي جربها النظام على أهلها أيضا. وفي تلك السنوات فقدت والدي وأخواني، ثم اضطررت إلى ترك مدينتي والسفر إلى إدلب، ومن ثم إلى تركيا لعلاج أخي الذي أصيب إصابة بالغة في الحرب التي ولأنني ابنة حرب ولأنني أمتلك
Without, yeah, I think Visal, what we're hearing is we're hearing both things simultaneously. So for this one, for the recordings, could you do, are you happy to read afterwards? I'll play the Arabic and then you can translate the English. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I hear you completely. It's just that we're playing a recording, and I think because we're screen sharing over here in the room, we can hear the actual Arabic audio. So if you're happy to, you can translate this one later. Yeah, thank you. Wonderful, thank you.
عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اسمي أميرة عليان تبلو من سوريا، ريف دمشق، وتحديدا من مدينة دارية. تلك المدينة التي بذل أبناؤها تضحيات كبيرة في سبيل الحرية والكرامة، وكان لها موقف ظاهر منذ البداية في الثورة السورية. عشت سنوات الحرب بكل ما فيها من ألم وقسوة، وشهدت الحصار القاتم الذي فرضته قوات النظام السوري السابق على مدينة دارية. رأيت مختلف أنواع الأسلحة التي جربها النظام على أهلها أيضا. وفي تلك السنوات فقدت والدي وأخواني، ثم اضطررت إلى ترك مدينتي والسفر إلى إدلب، ومن ثم إلى تركيا لعلاج أخي الذي أصيب إصابة بالغة في الحرب التي حصلت. ولأنني ابنة حرب ولأنني أمتلك حسا أدبيا وقلما شغوفا بالكلمة الصادقة، آمنت بأنه من واجبي أن أوجه قلمي نحو الحق، وأن أجعل من الكتابة رسالة للدفاع عن الإنسان وقضاياه العادلة. صدر لي 3 كتب، وما زلت أواصل الكتابة عن الحرب وآثارها، وعن غزة وفلسطين، وعن بلاد سوريا، وعن المظلومين والمحرومين، وعن أبناء المعتقلين، وعن كل حر شريف رفض الخضوع للظلم والاستبداد. واليوم أتمنى من كل صاحب قلم أن يوجه كلمته دائما نحو الحق، أن يسخرها لخدمة القضايا التي تنفع أمتنا وتعلي من شأن الإنسان. فنحن بحاجة إلى أن نبذل أقصى جهدنا أو ما نستطيع من جهد لنكتب التاريخ الحقيقي لأحفادنا، لا التاريخ الذي يريده الدكتاتوريون في العالم اليوم. ومن هنا أوجه رسالتي إلى كل حر شريف أن لا ينسى مسؤوليته الإنسانية تجاه المظلومين، تجاه سوريا، تجاه فلسطين، تجاه غزة، وتجاه اليمن، وتجاه المظلومين والمعتقلين والمحرومين. تجاه الأمهات اللاتي يبكين كل يوم، وتجاه الآباء الذين فقدوا وما زالوا يفقدون الكثير والكثير. أما عن أملي اليوم فهو أن يأتي اليوم الذي تعيش فيه بلادنا السلام والاستقرار والطمأنينة، بعيدا عن الحروب التي أنهكتها، وبعيدا عن كل ما سبب لها الدمار والخراب وكل ما أبكى الأمهات.
All right, so that was Ala. Wisal, are you able to kindly translate this for us now? Sorry, that was Amira from Syria. Beautiful. Thank you. Um, Thank you, Visal. I salute Amira's courage. Arshad, we'll have Asma go next, and we'll finish with the Arabic speakers and the translation, and then you can go after that. Asma, are you able to share your story next?
Yes, I am ready. Hello everyone, thank you for coming. Now I will speak in Arabic. اسمي أسماء راشد. عشت 10 سنوات بمخيم الزعتري وحاليا عايشة بفرنسا. بصراحة أنا يعني ما اخترت تجربة اللجوء، ولكن اخترت أنه ما تكون تجربة اللجوء هي نهاية قصتي. بداية رسالتي اليوم، أو بداية قصتي، اخترت أن أواجه اللجوء بالقراءة والتعليم، لأني أؤمن أن المعرفة قادرة على بناء الإنسان، حتى عندما تدمر الحرب كل شيء من حولنا. في عام 2014 بمخيم الزعتري حصلت على تدريب مع جمعية نحن نحب القراءة كحكواتية للأطفال. طبعا هذا التدريب يعني بعتبره بداية نقطة نشاطي بمخيم الزعتري. وكانت استخدمت القراءة كوسيلة للترفيه عن الأطفال، بس مش بس للترفيه، بل استخدمتها كأداة تمنح للأطفال الأمل وتفتح لهم نافذة على عالم أوسع، وخاصة أنه بالمخيم هو محاصر نوعا ما يعني، فكانت القراءة هي وسيلة جيدة للأطفال. في عام 2016 ابتكرت مشروع مخصص للفتيات. كنت بعيش بالمخيم وعم بشوف الفتيات عم بيعانوا نوعا ما من عدم الحصول على فرص التعليم بشكل كافي، فأسست مبادرة اسمها هيا لنقرأ لدعم تعليم الفتيات من خلال القراءة. بهاي الحالة تحول الكرفان عندي أو الخيمة اللي كانت مخصصة لي إلى مساحة آمنة لعشرات الفتيات. كنا نقرأ معا، نكتب معا، نتعلم معا، وندعم بعضنا البعض. بالنسبة لنا لم تكن القراءة مجرد هواية، بل كانت وسيلة للعيش ووسيلة للحفاظ على الأمل والكرامة في آن واحد. تم توثيق جزء من قصتي أو جزء من هذه الرحلة في فيلم وثائقي اسمه حكاية الحي، مرتبط بحملة تأثير عالمية باسم 1 مليون أسمة. ليصل صوت بهذا الشكل، ليصل صوت الفتيات إلى العالم وخاصة اللاجئات، ويؤكد على أن الاستثمار في التعليم والمعرفة هو الاستثمار الأكثر عدلا لهذه الفئات. في أواخر 2020 أو عفوا 2022 هاجرت إلى فرنسا. لكنني لم أترك رسالتي، حملتها معي. وفي عام 2026 سجلت مبادرة هيا لنقرأ كمؤسسة رسمية في فرنسا، لتصبح منصة تعليمية تدعم الأشخاص والمجتمعات التي تحتاج إلى فرص تمكين وتعليم أينما كانت طبعا. والآن وبالتوازي مع عمل هذه المؤسسة أنا أقود مشروع داخل سوريا لدعم تعليم الفتيات، وأيضا مشروع في فرنسا لدعم وتمكين الفتيات السوريات المهاجرات. باختصار برأيي الحروب قد تدمر البيوت وقد تدمر المدارس وقد تدمر الطرق وقد تدمر كل شيء، لكنها لا يجب أن تدمر أحلامنا، لا يجب أن تدمر أحلام الأطفال. لذلك أؤمن بأن أول خطوة في إعادة بناء أي مجتمع ليست بناء الحجر بل بناء الإنسان. فالتعليم والوعي والمعرفة هي الأساس التي نبني عليها مستقبلا أكثر عدلا وسلاما. سوريا اليوم تفتح صفحة جديدة إلى العالم وتحتاج إلى خبرات أبنائها من الشباب والبنات السوريين. لذلك أتمنى من السوريين في كل مكان أن يساهموا في بنائها كل بطريقته في بناء مستقبلها، وأدعو أيضا كل من لا يعرف سوريا إلى زيارتها والتعرف على حضارتها العريقة وعلى شعبها وثقافتها رغم كل الدمار الموجود الذي خلفته الحرب لمدة 15 عام. إذا لمستكم قصتي فأدعوكم لمشاهدة الفيلم الوثائقي حكاية الحي عبر منصة كينما، أو أن تكونوا جزءاً من حملة التأثير وسفراء للفيلم حتى تصل رسالة التعليم إلى أكبر قدر من الناس حول العالم. كما أدعوكم لدعم مشروعنا على منصة العطاء العالمي الذي يهدف إلى تعزيز تعليم الفتيات المراهقات داخل سوريا. فكل مساهمة وكل مشاركة في نشر هذه الرسالة تدعم عملي الذي بدأته بمفردي. وشكرا لحسن استماعكم.
Thank you, Visal, and thank you, Asma, for that. Always very inspiring to hear your story and to, how you made education possible for those young girls living in a camp. I believe we have a few others from Syria that I'm going to that I'm just going to play. So we're gonna. Sorry, don't switch.
اسمي آلاء القاب.
Second, I'm going to share my screen. And again, with some, we'll need your help in translating. Perfect, thank you.
اسمي آلاء القاسم، صحفية سورية ولاجئ أعيش في مخيم الزعتري من 2012. تطوعت مع عدد من المنظمات الدولية وبنفس الوقت قضايا اللاجئين في المخيم. في اليوم العالمي
I believe so, yes please, thank you.
لا أتحدث من خيمة عابرة بل من ذاكرة تشكلت بين الريح والغبار، ومن مكان صار رغم قسوة الظروف مساحة لتعلم النجاة وصناعة المعنى. في الزعتري لم يكن الوقت مجرد انتظار بل امتحان طويل للأمل. خرج منه طلاب يحملون كتبهم وكأنها وطن، ومبدعون كتبوا الحياة من رمادها، وصحفيون التقطوا وجه العالم بعدسة لا تنطفئ. من هنا تعلم السوريون أن اللجوء لا يختصر الإنسان، وأن الطموح لا يهزم حين يضيق المكان. واليوم وبعد أن سقط نظام الأسد الذي شرد الملايين، يعود الكثير من السوريون إلى بيوتهم الأولى، إلى التراب الذي ينادي أسماءهم، فيما بقي آخرون على عتبة العودة معلقون بين الحنين وغياب السكن والعمل، ولكن القلوب على تباعد طرقها ما زالت تسير نحو حلم واحد، وهو أن تبنى سوريا من جديد بما حملته السنوات من معارف وتجارب وندوب تحولت إلى قوة. ورسالتي إلى صناع القرار في العالم: اللاجئون ليسوا أرقاماً، بل طاقات تحتاج إلى فرص تحفظ لهم كرامتهم وتفتح لهم أبواباً للمستقبل بإذن الله.
Yes, I think it would be good if you could translate now, please. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I'll move on to, I think, the next couple of Syrian, recordings that we have. We have Abbas, and then Arshad, you can read after that. Abbas is in English, so we won't need any more translation.
Hello everyone, my name is Abbas Al-Faouri. I was born in 1997 in Sheikh Miskeen, a rural town in southern Syria, and I am a Syrian refugee currently living now in Jordan. Today I am the founder of the Syrian National Center for Space Research, where I also serve as an advisor. I was also invited to become a member of the International Astronomical Federation, and I was recently accepted into a research fellowship at Abdus Salam International Center for Theoretical Physics, or what we call ICTP. But my story did not begin in laboratories or between the books of mathematics or space. It began in war. At the age of 16, I was forcibly displaced after my home was destroyed by bombing. My school was vanished. Even getting bread became a life-threatening mission. My family and I survived by America. On January, the 5th of January in 2013, we crossed into Jordan after a dangerous journey and arrived at Al-Zatari refugee camp. I still remember our first night where we sat inside a tent with almost nothing except hope. Snow was falling above us. We had no blankets. My brothers and sisters were all children and I was the eldest. Yet, despite the freezing cold, we felt something powerful: relief. because for the first time in a long time, there were no bombs, no snipers, and no fear of sudden death. Later, we moved to Madaba, and there I made one of the hardest decisions of my life. I dropped out of school and I helped my father to work on the construction so we could survive and support our family. Those should have been my university years. Then one moment changed everything. I bought my first computer, my first laptop. The first questions I typed into a research engine was, who is Albert Einstein? That single question changed my life. Einstein led me to Newton, and Newton led me to Dirac. Then I knew a lot of scientists like Gauss, Turing, Ramanujan, Faraday, Penrose. I no longer felt like I am a refugee in the exile. Through books, I traveled across centuries and formed a lot of friendships with some of the greatest minds in the human history. I taught myself physics, calculus, number theory, and cosmology from scratch. I began building scientific instruments from recycled materials in my room. One of my earliest innovations was a laser microscope. The first time I saw onion cells through it, I felt like I am landing on the moon. I'm the first man who's landing on the moon. That moment changed me forever. I went to build microscopes, telescopes, and scientific devices. My innovations received media attention and won national innovation competitions. I built a home laboratory where I conducted experiments in optics, astronomy, chemistry, and biology. I analyzed the data from the stars, observed Saturn's rings and Jupiter's moon, and explored the hidden microscope world. In 2021, I was invited by a manager of an international school, and he told me that I will give you the opportunity to be the lab technician in our school, and I want you to bomb the school by your experiments. Alongside with my students and colleagues, we built a lot of projects, many who people thought like it's impossible. We built electric cars, roller coasters, particle accelerators, and many experiments. These projects earned national and international recognition, including qualifications to ISEF in the United States. Today, I'm helping building something even bigger. After Syria's liberation, I began contributing to efforts toward building a Syrian space future with satellites, scientific instruments, and new generations of engineers and scientists. My dream is not only to advance science, but to help build a future where young people from refugee and communities can become scientists, engineers, and explorers. I want to contribute to humanity's understanding of the universe and prove that the talent can emerge from the most difficult circumstances. I may not hold conventional academic degrees, but I currently something equal powerful: curiosity and an endless hunger for truth. I carry the same wonder humanity felt when our inspectors first looked at the night sky and asked, "What are those lights above us? Who are we? Why are we here?" I may not be genius like the scientists I read about them, but I carry the same determination to seek the truth. As one scientist beautifully said, I am a collecting of atoms trying to understand itself. Thank you very much.
All right. So a big thank you to Asma and to all of the Syrians who have contributed their stories. and to Visal for the beautiful translations. We'll now move on to Arshad's recitation, and then we'll have Hasib and Pip read in solidarity. Arshad, why don't you introduce yourself and your background, and then please share your work.
Hi everyone. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. My
Sorry,
name is
Arshad, we
Muhammad.
can't hear you. I'm just wondering if... sorry, now I put on original audio. Can you hear me all right, Arshad?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right. Please read.
Hi everyone. This is me, Muhammad Rashad Amin. I'm a Rohingya refugee. I'm now living in the world's largest refugee camp in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. Today I'm going to recite some poem. I'm the author of 4 poetry books. Today I'm going to recite some poem. Around the world, all the people are celebrating World Refugee Day. I have a message for them. The message is, do not hand us a day of recognition while denying us a lifelong of belonging. We are tired of being your annual topic. We want an end to the temporary wall you built for us. Now I am going one of my poem. My first poem. The poem title is "No More Silence." The camp has fences. My mind doesn't. You built wall of tarpaulin, but my voice cuts through them. Every year you come, taking photos of our grave, giving speeches about humanity that leaves no trace behind. We are tired of being a topic. We are tired of your pity. We are artists, thinkers, and human, trapped in a temporary world. Do not celebrate our survival. Help us end it. We don't want to be refugee for one more day. Now I'm going to recite my second poem. The second poem is not mine. This poem one of my pupil poem who is trying to write poetry after getting some training. His poem title is "Who Told You to Govern?" Myanmar military junta, who told you to govern a nation if you don't know how to lead? The power blind your eyes, ruling with bullets and self-made laws. No justice, transparency, and human right. Only fear and your illegal brutalities on people. You built your place in the country with fear. You committed genocide to Rohingya, and you made them refugee around the world. You did not maintain equality to your people. You did not lead us, you destroyed us. You did not govern us, but you massacred us. History will remember you as perpetrator and genocidal regimes that only work to erase its own people. You have our blood. I am Rohingya. I rose from genocide. When justice serves, you will fall to an end. You are the reason making us cage bat. Who told you to govern us? This poem was written by, his name is Muhammad Junayat. Now I am going to recite my third poem. This is the final one. Stateless behind the fence. The Rohingya people dwell within the refugee camp, struggling to survive each day. Countless hardship and pain. Camps are closed by metal fences. It is the cage and open air prison. No smell of freedoms, just isolation. We cannot go beyond these barriers, enduring, suffering, and vibration like captive parrot with demands, but no solution, dignity, and tranquility. Being the owner of the land Arakan, yet declared as refugee, no belonging. Without a nation, the future is veiled in darkness. We grieve not only for ourselves, but for the generation to come, that we remain a stateless people, but we have a rich history as masters. The world treats us as refugees, yet many essential rights are lacking. Still, we don't hope for materialistic, but we look for justice and dignified lives. The bamboo-made shelters, which are painfully small for families, where basic needs hardly meet daily, staying in unimaginable condition for years. Pain whispers through our heart. Hopelessness breaks us. No peace mind. Life here is a test of endurance, uncertainties, hardship, and sacrifice. Yet, despite the suffering, we continue to hope for a better tomorrow, backing these stateless and fences that serve as our crime while we are victims of genocide. Thank you very much for listening very carefully. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isha. Thank you for sharing your story, and wish your people nothing but success and to return to your land.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. So before we move on to the solidarity readings, I realize that we have Noor from Syria who's waiting to share her work with us. So my apologies, Noor, and Wasal, we'll need your support once again, please. Thank you.
نور فيك تبلشي نور.
So we can't hear.
اوكي تمام يعطيكم العافية.
Sorry. Is Noor? Yeah, Noor, are you ready to read?
أنا نور الحريري، سورية، مقيمة في مخيم الزعتري، كاتبة وناشطة شبابية. كتبت ما يحلو لي من الوجع، ولعلني حين وصفت ما جرى كتبت بقلب كل لاجئ ولاجئة في هذا العالم. وحين أكتب الشعر أنا لا أدعي أنني أكتب لأنني سورية فحسب، فأنا حين أكتب كتبت بقلب سوري وفلسطيني ويمني وسوداني. وأنا وثقت ما جرى لي كأنني آخر من مات على هذه الحياة. فكتبت لكم أبيات من الشعر لعلها لا تكون سورية فحسب، فهي لكل إنسان عاش الفقدان والحرمان، ولكل لاجئ ولاجئة في هذا العالم. أنا لا أدري من أنا، لست أدري أأنا التي كبرت في المخيم أم أن المخيم هو الذي كبر في داخلي. ولدت على أمل مؤجل وكبرت وأنا أراقب الأحلام وهي تمر من أمامنا ولا تدخل خيامنا. في المخيم يا سادة لا يقاس العمر في السنوات، بل بعدد الأمنيات التي دبلت وهي تنتظر. نعم، ما زالت تنتظر. هنا يتعلم الطفل أن يصادق الحلمان، وتتقن الأم إخفاء دموعها، ويبتسم الأب كي لا تسقط الخيمة فوق قلوبنا. أما أنا يا سادة فأنا لا وجع يوثقني، ولا حزن يرتديني، ولا ألم يوثق ما جرى لي من الحرمان وفقدان الشغف. جميعنا يا سادة عانينا ومررنا بسواد لا يوصف. أما أنا فلم يكن لي سوى قلما ودفتر. كلما ضاقت الخيمة اتسعت القصيدة جدار قلبي، وكلما أثقل الصمت صدري كتبت، لأن الكتابة كانت النافذة الوحيدة التي لا يستطيع اللجوء أن يغلقها كما أغلق قلبي. لقد أتعبني الانتظار، أتعبتني الأحلام التي تلوح لنا من بعيد ثم تمضي دون أن تلتفت. أتعبني الحلم والأحلام، حتى الفرح أصبح عابرا كغيمة مرت فوق الصحراء ولم تمطر. وأحيانا أشعر أن الانتظار ليس طريقا للنجاة، بل حياة مؤجلة حتى إشعار آخر. أنا ابنة المخيم، لا أحمل سوى كلماتي، لكنني أؤمن أن الكلمة تولد من رحم الألم. أبقى من الخيمة وأوسع من الحدود، وأقرب إلى الوطن من المسافات كلها. يعطيكم العافية.
Thank you, Noor, and thank you, Asal. Now we'll move back to our. Uh, Now we'll move back to English and to our solidarity readings. Pip, if you're with us, would you like to go first for that?
Hello, Maniba.
Hi. Sorry, I'm just going to spotlight.
Okay. This is a poem called A World Without Others. A world without others is like a tapestry without a thread. A book that's never read, a wheel without the colour, a sister without the brother. A clock that doesn't tick, a building without the brick, a place without a name, a fire without a flame. A world without others is like a cloud without a sky, hello without goodbye, heaven without hell, a story you can never tell. It's a thank you without a please, the wind without the breeze, the lovers without the love, the hand without the glove. A world without others. It's like wine without the glass, the green without the grass, the seeing without the eye, the low without the high, the tree without the root, the bowl without the fruit, the bread without the yeast, and beauty without beast. World without others is like a painting without the paint, the sinner without the saint, the river without the flow, the light that can never glow, the key without the lock, the ticking without the clock, the light without the shade, the person without a name. A world without others. It's like today without tomorrow, the weeping without the sorrow, the house without the home, the poet without the poem, words with no meaning, dreams with no dreaming, the game without the play, the night without the day, a world without others. It's like singing without a song, a place where no one belongs, the years without the days in so many wonderful ways. It's like the music without the note, the laughter without the joke. A world without others is like a room with no view, a false with no true, a wave without the sea, a world without you and me. Picture without the frame, without others, life just wouldn't be the same.
That's
Thank you.
absolutely beautiful. Thank you. That's absolutely beautiful and very powerful. Great. And next, Hasib, if you're with us, would you like to read next?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for allowing me to do that. Now, is it okay to read in Urdu, or do you need rather I do read in English?
No, Urdu is fine, but then just do like a 2-3 line explanation at the end for the others.
Okay, yeah, no, actually, all right. And maybe what I'm going to do is that I'll do a 2-3 word explanation before. So
Okay.
maybe, yeah, that may help. So the first one, and this is a free verse that is, in my mind, appropriate to the occasion. It's in Urdu, I call it Insaniyat ka Janaza, which means the funeral of humanity. And you see, we often count the dead and measure the destruction. This poem asks a different question. What dies within us when we learn to look away? That's the theme of this. And I mean, later on, if you want, I can further explain, but I'll start with the poem.
Yes, please go ahead.
कहीं दूर शोर उठ रहा है, बैन की आवाजें, आसमान को चीरती सदाएं और हजूम एक जनाजा उठाए, खामोशी में डूबा चला जा रहा है, चारपाई पर एक लाश से खून रिस रहा है, कतरा कतरा जमीन पर गिर रहा है, जैसे गवाही दे रहा हो या शायद सवाल पूछता हो, कौन है मेरा कातिल? मैं हजूम के पास पहुंचता हूं कांपते कदमों से, आंखों में हैरत, लबों पर सवाल। ये किसका जनाजा है? हजूम खामोश आंखों से मेरी तरफ देखता है, गोया इनके लबों पर कोई अनकही बद्दुआ है। फिर कहीं दूर फजा से एक आवाज गूंजती है, ओ बेखबर, ओ बेहिस, ये जनाजा हर एक इंसान का है, बल्कि तेरी इंसानियत, मेरी इंसानियत और हम सब की इंसानियत का है। कहाँ है वो इंसान जो अमन व मसावत और हकूक इंसान के कायल थे? कहाँ है वो मुसलमान जो कहते थे हम एक जिस्म हैं, एक धड़कन, एक जान है? क्या हुआ? क्योंकि आज ये जिस्म टुकड़े टुकड़े हो चुका है, लाशों के अंबार तले दफन हो चुका है। बच्चों के चेहरे, माओ के आंसू, बाप के बिखरे ख्वाब, सब इस जनाजे का कफन बन गए हैं। मैं अपने हाथ देखता हूं, मेरे हाथ पर खून है, जमे हुए खून के दाग हैं। मैं चीख उठता हूं, ये मैंने नहीं किया, मैं बेकसूर हूं। फिजा हंसती है, मेरी सफाइयां फिजा में बिखर जाती हैं। और वही आवाज अब कहीं दूर से नहीं, मेरे अंदर से आती है। हाँ, खंजर किसी और के हाथ में था, मगर जब बच्चे मरते रहे, जब माएं रोती रहीं, जब बस्तियां जलती रहीं, तब तेरी खामोशी इस खंजर की धार बनती रही। तूने खंजर नहीं चलाया, मगर खंजर चलते देखा था। तूने खून नहीं बहाया, मगर खून बहाते देखा था। तू खामोश रहा, कहीं तेरा नुकसान ना हो जाए। मगर सुन, खामोशी भी कत्ल का हथियार है। और आज इंसानियत के इस कत्ल में सिर्फ कातिल ही मुजरिम नहीं, हाँ, खंजर किसी और के हाथ में था, मगर इसके दस्ते पर उंगलियों के निशान तेरे भी थे।
बहुत खूब, very, very powerful, Hasib. Excuse me. Thank you everyone for sharing. I know some of our Palestinian poets had to drop off, but we've had some beautiful poetry from our Palestinians. We've had Syrians sharing their stories and some poetry. Wisal has done really good translation and interpretation despite some of the technical issues. So thank you for that, Wisal. And then Pip and Hasib, you've shared some beautiful words. And then Arshad, thank you for also representing the Rohingya community and continuing to share their words. Before I close this, I'm just going to read one poem. And this is about the plight of some Pakistani refugees a few years ago. I think it was around 2023, where when there was a tragedy and a boat sank off the coast of Greece. And in that, over 300 migrants drowned. And this is after they'd signaled for more than 1 hour to the coast, signaled in distress, and somebody made that decision that these lives are not worthy of saving. After the boat drowned, more than 300 people died in that. After the boat drowned, some news reports came out of the discrimination that had happened within the boat as well, and how those Pakistani migrants had been treated. So even in refugees, there were those tiers created, and humans could just not treat each other as being equal. And so I'll recite this poem. They were warned of the choppy waters and the rough seas, but they said, "We've always lived our lives neck deep. Many a mighty boat lives on the ocean bed, but they say at rock bottom, we've been born and bred. Traffickers say they're not to blame. Migrants are aware this is a risky game. Not on us, say the Coast Guards, doing as we're told. To think they'd be welcome here, that's mighty bold. For sunk boats, burned boats, return boats are ever a plight with little hope, and yet somehow they still seek the boats. Desperate to escape their lands of no bridges, ablaze lined with trenches and ditches, pining for the boats, praying for the boats, paying for the boats, till one day they're called to a boat, lump in their throats, and then crowded on the boat, locked on the boat, mocked on the boat, for oxygen they choke, no water for their dry throats, till a flood of it rushes through. For people of boats, there's often no choice but to sink or float. The waves may wash some bodies ashore, of those for whom a doomed boat was the closest thing to home they'd ever known. A teardrop disappears into a vast sea. Perhaps in heaven the angels weep. Thank you. And as I end on this somber note, I'm going to thank all of you for being here today, those of you who have read in solidarity, those of you who have supported us, and those of you who have come on very bravely and shared your poems and your stories. It takes courage to do that, to speak for your people, to speak for other people, to speak for a cause that's not popular, but that's important, and that needs to be spoken about. So thank you, and here's to humanity. And thank you, Pip and Hasib and Arshad, Ala, Noor, Asma, and Wisal, and everyone who was with us during the day today and has logged off. And thank you also to Pimlico Library and Wakas over here for hosting us and having us. Thank you.